Hi there, I've had a few people wanting me to do a start to finish video, so we're going to I'm going to start off with the block here. Actually, I've got two of them here. I'm going to do a pen and pencil set out of this block. Alright, let's get started. Well, here we got the lathe. I've had a couple people ask me what kinds of tools I use. I use these Easy Wood chisels with carbide tips. Got a square one, pointed one, and then the rounded head. These are pretty much all I use. Just these three on the acrylics. So the old trusty variable speed lathe here. Alright, let's set up and let's get going. Alright, now I've got all the stuff over here to do the pen and pencil set, but we're just going to start with the pencil, so we'll put the pen set aside in one of the blocks. Alright, got all my bushings and everything out, so back when I don't need right now. And we'll pull the tubes out so we can measure the length, mark it, and cut it. These are pretty simple. Both tubes are the same length, so we'll just come over here to the block, lay it on, mark it, mark where I want to cut it, and that should be good right there. I also like to mark left and right on the blocks as well, so I can keep the color pattern orientation somewhat consistent. So, got a left side and a right side. Alright, we'll go cut these and I'll be right back. Alright, we got our pieces cut, we got them marked for the left and right. Now, come over, grab our handy dandy little tool, got it at the Woodcraft store for about $5. Helps finding the centers a whole lot easier, so just slide it on like that. Mark one. Mark 2, boom, center found. Get to the other one. And there's the second one. Alright. Cut back in. And now we'll head over to the drill press. And here we are at the drill press. My wonderful mess that kids like to call confetti all over the place. I don't have one of those fancy self-centering jigs yet, clamps, so I have to do it the old-fashioned way, just a regular hand clamp. Set it up. Bring our plate almost up to the bit. Bring it over. Lock it down. Lined up. And about there looks good. Go down a little bit. Bring it back out so it clears a bit. Doesn't heat it up. Doesn't get stuck. I'm not sure where my camera died at, but alright, we'll see if we can fix it up. We got our blank here in the clamp, since I don't have the fancy self-centering jig yet. So, but just line it up. Find our center. Already started this one, the camera died halfway through, so go down a little bit, back it out, clear the bit. else it'll get stuck with the plastic melts in there if it heats up too much, so just a little bit at a time. Nice and easy. Limit of the drill press's travel, but we still got a little bit more to go. So I'll just bring it up by hand, feed it nice and easy until it punches through. Alright, now we got a hole all the way through. Let's go over and prep the tubes and glue them in. Alright, back to the lathe. I've had some people, I've seen some videos where they say you don't need to scratch the tubes at all, but I've had some come apart on me for when I was doing the final assembly, so I like to give them I'll give them a quick scratch here on the lathe itself. Line it all up. Lock her down. And I just go on the slowest speed I've got. I just take a piece of leftover heavy, I think 60 or 80 grit sandpaper I had left over from another project, and just do that to scratch it up a little bit. Gives it more grip on the inside of the tube. Just a quick little buff in both directions, puts a little crosshatch pattern on it. Got that. A little crosshatch pattern on it, so the glue has more surface area for the glue to stick to. Pull those back off. Move my chisels out of the way. Glue and my quick set. Clear out the tip on the glue a little bit here. Sometimes you don't get the lid on all the way, it dries up in the center of the tube there. Alright. It's all fixed. Take it. Make sure the tube slides through all the way, both ways. A little rub both ways. Slider. Slide it all the way in. Double tap. Dries the glue. take it back over to the drill press and flush off the ends. Alright, back at the drill press. Have my handy dandy 7mm flushing bit. So it's going to go down inside the tube and take the ends off. Takes that excess off of there where the tube's not all the way touching the end. So. That up. Back in the clamp. Bring it up. Nice and gentle until it just, I go until it just barely touches the tube and shines it up. Flip it over and do the other side. A little bit of glue on the end. That's alright. Round down. There we go. Alright. All the ends are flush with the tube. I've seen some videos and stuff where the guys actually will take this onto the sander and knock these corners off flush, but for some of us our sanders aren't that great, and trying to get the 90-degree perfect just isn't really an option. So I've come to a point where I just leave them on, and then whenever I round it off, it just automatically takes those parts off. There's no need to put it on the sander for anything. So now we go back over to the lathe and mount them up. Alright, back at the lathe. Now mount up's pretty much the same thing as it was for the when I put the tubes on to scuff them up. So got bushing, acrylic, bushing, acrylic, which side was which. And bushing, and lock it all down. Tool rest in so I can bring the tailstock up. Bring it up so it just barely touches. Lock it down. The actual tool rest on. Lock it in. That's it. Come on. Make sure I can fit a little bit closer. Alright. Just need to get on my safety gear and we'll be ready to start turning. Alright, I think we got everything set up here. Got it all tightened up, set up on the lathe, tailstock's up, I'm ready to go. Got my face shield on, about ready to grab my earmuffs, and I like using this one, the pointy end chisel. It doesn't grab as much, won't stop the work unless you jam it into there, but I find this one's a lot easier to use to do the initial rounding anyway. So. And I like to bring it up to a medium speed. I've got variable speed, so I'll bring it up about halfway to the 5, which is about 1260 RPMs. This will be noisy, so I'll probably see if I can dub some music, check my video editing skills after this. There, I got the initial rounding done, and yes, I go pretty fast on that. I'm not worried about chunking or minor blowout because this is a slimline pen, so we're going to take most of this off anyway. But now we'll switch over to the square blade and take it down to a finer rounds. It's a flat blade, but most of the time I'll be using the leading edge. I'll just use the very tip. I don't use the whole edge of the blade. I'll use the tip to cut in like with the other one, but this is a little bit more finer, more precise. Alright, now we got them pretty much rounded off. I'm going to stop and think about what kind of design I actually want to put on it yet. I haven't thought about it, but I'll be back and we'll start cutting into it. Alright, had to move the camera so it wasn't in my way. Hopefully you guys will still be able to see what I'm doing here. We're going to back the speed down to 3, which is about 910 RPMs. Hopefully that'll keep the vibration down a bit, make things a little bit smoother. First half that I call it teardrop shape, but flares out at the and then comes back, tapers back down. So reset the camera and I do the other side. Alright, welcome back. Sorry about all the pauses. I have to keep emptying the memory card. It's not big enough. Only records about 20 minutes worth of video, and then I have to go empty it on the computer. Move the camera a little bit and see if we can get a more up close and personal picture of what's going on here. So here we go. Let's do the other side. pretty good there. Just gonna kind of break out the sandpaper and take out all the tool marks. Start out with 220 and then work my way up to 600 before I use the micro mesh pads on it. Just trying to make sure I got all the chunks out. So that was a 320. Looks good. Alright, 600 complete. Need to get some water and we'll start the wet sanding. Alright, I'm back. I got a bowl. water here. Got a fresh piece of 600 grit. Let's see what we got. Check for any major marks or divots, anything, see if it's blown out anywhere that I didn't see while sanding. So that looks good. That looks good. So now we've got our micro mesh pads here. Goes all the way from 900 all the way up to 12,000. So we just start at the lowest and work our way up. Check it after after the first 3 or 4 pads and make sure it's going all right, and then and if that's good, then we finish it out. Starting to look pretty good. feels like glass. I guess the next step, take it off, take it over to the table, and let's put it all together. Okay, welcome to my assembly area here. So, got everything laid out. I don't do pencils too often, so I referred back to the instructions to make sure I do this right and get it all together in the right order. So, do the pocket clip first. And yeah, I don't have a fancy pen press either, so just got a couple pieces of oak on a clamp here, and it's worked so good for me so far. So yeah. Stay. Sometimes these things are a little temperamental. Alright, back clips in, the front. Okay, drop it. Maybe I'll edit that out. All assembled that way. Just drop these are easy. The pencils are a lot easier than the pens are. Just drop that in and then screw it on. Voila, done. And it works. That is an acrylic pencil. Block color is fire and ice. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Thanks.